So the first question is, how does it feel being number one? And to be honest, it's just overwhelming emotion. Like, the only way I can describe it is, imagine waking up every morning with a dream or like a goal or something that you just really, really want, and going to sleep every night thinking about it, dreaming about it every night for like weeks and weeks on end, and then waking up one morning and it's just there. Like, you've got it, you've got this thing you've always wanted, and it's just like, how can you like describe that to someone? It's just unbelievable. Like, it's a good week or so after the show now, and I still can't believe I can finally and proudly call myself the MPA's junior champion. And yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. I've worked my arse off, and I suppose it finally paid off. As a bodybuilder, what's your typical day like? So on an average day at the moment, it's nothing particularly special. Like in normal person, I go to work every day and do my job, and then instead of going home and lounging about or just wasting time, I train every night. So at the moment, even though I'm out of prep, I'm still doing rest day cardio, so I'm in the gym 7 days a week, every week. And yeah, I train 5 times a week, body parts. So I currently do a push, pull, legs, upper lower split. And then on the days where I don't train, I come in and do an extra bit of cardio just to keep my weight under control. But during prep, it was anything but normal. So I'll walk you through an average day. Basically, I used to get up at 4 o'clock every morning and get ready, go to the Pure Gym, which is a 24-hour gym next to mine, and get in a good hour of cardio and about half an hour of, or 50 minutes, half an hour of ab training. I then used to shower, drive a good hour to work from 7:30 till 5 to 6 days a week. I then used to get out of work, drive another hour to the gym, train, and then go home, prep all my meals, and then go to bed and do it all again. And I did that for a good 40 odd weeks or something for me prep. And I'm not gonna lie, by the end of it, I was like beyond wrecked. Like, yeah, I was in some horrible states near the end. Your body just doesn't catch up, and you're constantly, like, for example with me, I was only getting about 4 hours of sleep a night, and I was trying to catch up on that sleep on weekends, and it just was like impossible in the end, because I had to get up anyways and do my cardio, do all my training on the weekend, and then get in all the other stuff I wanted to do. So I was always playing catch up with myself, and it really started to grind on us. But I still got in, I still got it done, and I still done everything I needed to do in the time I was given. And I think that's why I got to where I was. I didn't just use it as an excuse saying like, oh, I've got a job, I've got this, I've got to do that, and I can't do what I want to do. If you want to do something, do it. Like, there's nothing stopping you. Nothing will get in your way. It's just you saying, oh, this will get in the way, and just being like, oh, it doesn't matter. When in reality, you can do whatever you want to do. So, bit of a skewer from the original question, but yeah, that's what a typical day for me was like. What sacrifices have I made during the year? And I think a better question would be, what didn't I sacrifice this year? So, the likes of family, friends, events, birthdays, like anything you can think of, I'll put to one side. Work, that's another one. I put work in the back seat for the last 3 or 4 months, which almost cost us my job. Yeah, I sacrificed everything. Anything that I've seen as a distraction, I give up. So I didn't go out, like for example, last year in the off season, I went out with my mates a fair bit. So on weekends, we'd go out to the pub or whatever, do whatever. But this year, from New Year's, I said I wasn't going to do any of that. And to be honest, for most of my mates, that was hard to hear, because that's all they do. But I knew it was going to be a distraction, and people say, oh well, what's one drink, what's one of this, what's one of that? And it's not that one thing, it's what it leads to. So for example, you go out for a couple of drinks, then you wake up in the morning late because you've slept in, you feel a bit hungover, so you can't be asked to go train. You then don't eat right because you feel like crap all day, and then it just spirals into an like everlasting cycle of rubbish. And at the end of the day, being in a competition prep and wanting to get something, that isn't what I wanted to do. So I put it all to one side, and it worked out better. But I'm just really lucky I had like good mates to come back to, and that the mates I have and the family I have are really understandable in what I was doing. Because if I didn't, I tell you now that coming out of a prep, I'd have nothing. So like family events is another one. I didn't go to any family events, so birthdays or anything like that. I told no, my mum, my dad, everyone. I just said no, I'm not going to them, because it was always going off for meals or going off for drinks, and I didn't. It was either I went and I took my own food, and then everyone's like, well, what are you doing? And then you kind of just like, well, I need to eat what I need to eat, and you wanted us here, so I'm here. And it just caused more problems. So I just said, instead of us having to turn down all these events, just stop asking and just pretend I don't exist. Just pretend I don't exist for the next like 10 months or whatever it's going to be, and it's just make life easier. So that's what happened, and that's just the way I liked it. I kind of just like being on my own and doing my own thing, like over in the background somewhere, and it just worked out for the best. But I did sacrifice a lot. Like I said, work suffered. I was getting pulled into the office every week saying, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you working properly? Why are you just being an arsehole, basically? And I just said, give us another 3 months, or give us this until the prep's over, and I'll be back to normal, I promise. And like, prep's over and I'm back to normal, and everyone's like, well, why were you acting like that? And I'm just like, you don't understand what I was doing. I was up, I was getting 4 hours of sleep a night and doing like quadruple the amount of stuff they were doing, and still coming to work and still doing what I had to do every day. So what do you expect? You can't expect us to just be happy as Larry 24/7 and doing all that. So yeah, I sacrificed a lot. The year could have worked out a lot worse than it did, and I'm really lucky to have the people around us that do, who not only support us but were there for us still when I came out with all the crap, and give them all the rubbish to just be like, well done, and you know, we're still here for you. So I'm really lucky to have that. So the next question is, tell us a story about a dark day. So as anyone knows who's been through a competition prep, you have a lot of dark days, and something that's really funny about them is, at the time I thought they were like the worst things in the world. Like, I was going through hell. But like, looking back, I'm just being like, why were you being such a bitch? Like, it's just so funny, because your mind plays these mental tricks on you, making you think that you're like dying. In reality, you're just a little bit hungry and a bit tired, and it's just absolutely mental. But probably something that springs to mind, I've got 2. One really quick was, I went to the Body Power Expo in May, which was 2 weeks out from the Yorkshire Championships, which I won. And I was waking up, I woke up that morning at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym and do my cardio, to get back, to get showered, to drive about 4 hours, yeah, about 4 hours to Birmingham with me mates. And then got to Birmingham, done the whole expo, got back to the hotel, got changed, went trained, didn't get out of the gym till about 12 o'clock at night, and then drove the 45 minutes it was from the hotel to the gym home. And that was hot. I remember just getting back in the hotel room and just looking at myself in the mirror, and I just looked like absolute shit. And just thinking, what are you doing with your life? Like, what are you doing? Like, putting yourself through this much crap. And the funny thing is, I woke up at 4 o'clock the next morning and done it all again. And I'd done that for 3 days straight. And then had to travel from Birmingham to Crewe, which is where I was working at the time, to go to work that next day. So I'd done that from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Woke up on Sunday morning, drove, I think it was about 2 hours to Crewe, and then went to work on Monday morning. And before work, I went and done my cardio and done everything, and yeah, that wasn't good. That was really, really shit feeling. And the second one was very similar. It was a week out from the British finals. I was working away again, and I was still doing the morning cardio at 4 o'clock, blah blah blah. And I remember just it was that night I went to a gym, but the gym to train, and the gym closed at 10, and I got out of work late, so I went in, I trained, then I went on my phone and found a nearest pure gym, which was 45 minutes away, because where I was working was like in the middle of nowhere. So I drove from that gym, when it closed at 10, 45 minutes to the next gym to do my cardio. I then done about an hour and a bit of cardio, drove the 45 minutes back, and I think it was about 1 o'clock in the morning or something, and I had to be up at 4 to do my cardio again. And I got in my room and I felt like I'd been shot. That's how crap I felt. And I remember just lying on the floor in my room and just like, I couldn't even get up. That's how depleted I felt. And the drive home from that gym, I rang one of my mates and I said, like, yeah, Dan, I'm driving back from this gym and I'm actually like, I'm so depleted and so feeling like shit that I'm actually seeing stuff. Like, I could actually see things in the middle of the road that weren't there. I was like, oh, I was in like the worst frame of mind to be driving ever. I probably would have drove better if I was more drunk. And it was like pitch black at night and it was all country roads as well, which is even worse. And I pulled over for about 20 minutes to try and get my head straight. And I was talking to my mate and I just remember him saying, do you want us to come get you? And I thought, oh my god, is this what my life came to? I'm unable to drive my own car to get home. Someone's gonna come and get us. So I like put my head down for a while, sorted myself out, and and drove back and just lay on my floor for about half an hour, and then had a shower, I'd done posing and went to bed. And that was the shit. That's probably the shittest I've ever felt. It was horrible. Just like not having the energy to stand up to go in the shower and get washed because you were in that much pain. And it's just mental thinking all the stuff I did. It's just like, you wouldn't even, like I wouldn't even think about putting myself through it now. But then put into the same situation, I wouldn't go back and do it any different. It's just absolutely mental. Yeah, I'd just like to end this just by saying, like, thanks to Paul and everyone from the Gym Plan app from actually giving us an opportunity to do something like this, because I think me and Paul were talking about this the other day, but I don't realise sometimes a lot of people look up to what I do, and a lot of people are interested in what I do and what it takes to kind of get where I got. So it is nice to be able to do things like this. And the reason why I got into natural lifting in the first place was to actually help people, because I seen a lot of people. Well, I started training with no goal. I just went to the gym and I wanted to set myself a goal, so that's why I chose to do a show. But then I just wanted to kind of prove to people that it can be done without the steroids, and I think I have done that in the time I've done it in. Because a lot of people assume that I am taking them when I'm not, and then when I tell them I'm not, they've like got some sort of massive shock on their face as if it's like unheard of, when in reality it shouldn't be. Like I said, it's just because of the way the sport is, but yeah, I got into doing what I'm doing and I am still progressing to do what I'm doing to show people that it can be done naturally, and it does take time, but it's well worth it in the end. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's supported us and all that stuff, and like I said, thanks to Paul and everyone for giving us this chance. So yeah, cheers.